Hey everybody, so Sean Chandler Talks About turned 2 years old just a couple of days ago, and it got me thinking about all the different ways in which I've shared hundreds of hours of content, me talking about movies, me talking about TV shows, all sorts of things. And then there's all these things about me in real life that there's never been a context for me to talk about that are somewhat interesting and could help you understand me a little bit more. And since I've got a channel designed specifically for me to talk about whatever I want to talk about without having to worry about algorithms, success, building an audience, or anything like that, just getting to be me on camera talking to you about whatever I want, however I want, even if I still have paint on my arm from my job. That's what this channel's about. So today I'm going to give you 5 super duper interesting things about me that you probably did not know about me already. Unless you know me in real life, maybe a couple of these I've talked about a little bit on the channel, but other ones I haven't really. So hopefully it will be kind of interesting. Some people ask me from time to time if these are shirts that you can buy. Yes, you can. There's a link in the description of almost all my videos on my main channel for my TeePublic store. There's several different designs of Sean Chandler Talks About apparel that you can get on shirts, you can get on coffee mugs, all sorts of other places. And I think I'm going to design a few more t-shirts in the near future, so there's more kind of options that aren't just my name with a logo or my face, doing the hammer deal or anything like that. But so check that. They're actually on sale. T-shirts are on sale right now for only $14, I think today and tomorrow. So if you watch this when I first post this, they're on sale. Anyway, I'm taking too long in my intro, but I can do that on this channel. That's a fun thing about not having to worry about everything over here, not having 50,000 subs just yet on this one. But let's get started. Interesting thing number 1, I've played in a bunch of bands over the years. So I started playing guitar, I think back in 1999, 1998. I just decided to teach myself guitar. When I was an upperclassman in high school, just started to look up guitar tabs on the internet, and that kind of led to me just being in several bands. I don't know, from about the year 2000 to 2015 or whatever. I played a lot of music in different contexts and recorded a lot of stuff, but nothing good. I was in no bands that have been heard by anyone other than people that know me really close. I wasn't particularly good at any of it. So it's not like there's this secret thing that you can find this cool band out there that I was in. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just a whole bunch of me and my buddies getting together, forming a band, and a lot of church music, a ton of church music. Me working with a bunch of high schoolers that a lot of those high schoolers went on to be far better musicians, better singers, better guitar players than I will ever be. But yeah, I did. And so going way back in the day, my first band was called the Amazing Scosmonauts. It was right around the turn of the century, so ska, the third wave of ska, was still pretty hot. And so yeah, I was in a band called the Amazing Scosmonauts, and you can see a little picture of that. What we did was we actually wanted to have some gimmicks in our band, and so we decided to throw muffins at our audience while playing Do You Know the Muffin Man, which some people thought was amazing, and a bunch of people just thought we'd lost our minds. So that was a band that I was in, and then just all sorts of other kind of little local garage band type things. Some of them did play a couple shows like on 6th Street in downtown Austin, Texas, but nothing that not even as cool as what I just made it sound like. And but yeah, and I did some singing at different times, but some screaming. I was in a couple bands where I was the screaming type guy. So punk bands, some synth pop type bands, a bunch of different stuff. So even the music on my channel at the beginning, the intro on my movie reviews and the outro on all my videos, I wrote that music. I wrote that and I programmed it. So I'm actually pretty good at programming and kind of working with other people to write stuff. But actually my raw talent in and of itself, somewhat limited in those types of things. Some of the fun stuff I did back in the day, I'll get to that in just a second. I'll get to the fun part. We'll come back to me singing and playing guitar just a little bit. Fun fact number 2 is that I'm a published writer. Now, once again, this is not as cool as it sounds. It's not like I've published a book. It's not like I've made money as a writer, nothing of that sorts. But I've submitted a number of my different writings to different places or been contacted about some of the blogging I did in the past and got published by places that I respect and that I read. In particular, some stuff with Relevant Magazine. I think 5 or 6 different articles I've written have been published by them, which is pretty cool because Relevant's a magazine I've been reading for 15 years or something like that and been familiar with their work and read the articles that they post. And so then whenever I started having some things published from them, including a movie review, it was like, wow, I'm a real grown-up now. I'm actually doing something that people are paying attention to. At least at the time when it got published, that's what it was like. This is amazing. And then now my YouTube channel is kind of like my own platform where I've had this success. I don't know. Life is a strange little adventure. The things that the first time you experience some success, like something I created created, people are actually reading. Something I created, people are actually watching on YouTube. It's like a very strange, interesting phenomenon, especially for me, because like I just told you, I did music for 15 years and none of it went anywhere. There's no, like, there's one song that I wrote that people seem to like, that people seem to indicate that it's a pretty good song. But that's it. Like, I've written hundreds of songs that no one seemed to have any interest in at all, and none of it went anywhere. And then when I first started writing some stuff and got some traction, it was mind-blowing. And then my YouTube channel is even more like, where is this coming from? That in my mid-30s, suddenly people are paying attention to things I'm creating. So I'm a published writer, which is a pretty cool little fun fact that I turned into a thing talking about music once again and then looping back to YouTube. So sometimes I can get distracted, but that's the fun thing. I keep looping back to the fun that I can have with this channel, where I can just let my personality and the kind of the way my hyper energy and conversation come out. I can do that here talking to you on this channel. Third thing, I have always done my best to have ridiculous hair. So back in the day, in middle high school, I did the bowl cut. So this is what, apparently we thought this was a good idea. It's essentially the same haircut that I have now, just not styled. So the hair would just like flop down on the sides. So if you saw my hair without all the stuff in it, then when it just flops down, that's what we would do. And just put the bowl, cut around the side. That's apparently what we thought was an amazing cut. And we'd get mad at our parents when they tell us it was a bowl cut back in the day, because no, it's different from a bowl cut. And I'd have 50 excuses why it was different from a bowl cut. Looking back at it now that I'm an adult, it was a bowl cut. But as soon as I was kind of got free, got a little bit older, the rock star in me, right, because I was in a bunch of bands, grew my hair awesome long. And so there was different phases of the long hair, whether it was sweaty, greasy rock star Sean, that was of course a ton of fun. Even this picture that you're looking at right here, this was taken the day after I had my wisdom teeth taken out. I had my wisdom teeth taken out using medical test research. I went into a facility where I might have gotten the placebo, and I had to sit in a chair and had stitches in my mouth and everything, and they were giving me pills and like drawing my blood and everything. And the next day, while I still had stitches in my mouth, I played this show that you're looking at this picture of me. So there's Rockstar Sean. A few years later, I cleaned up a little bit, and you got the long-haired, Anglicized Jesus version of me that was whatever this picture is. You can do whatever you want with that phase of my life. And so then when I finally cut my hair after 5 years of long hair, I was like, I gotta still do something interesting with it. So I went with the boy band look, which, you know, hey, it worked well enough. When at that phase in my life, I could pull off the boy band look for a couple of years there. And then I transitioned a little bit later on and just did the buzz look. And then more recently, I've gone with the undercut and different versions of styling. Sometimes I let it go longer. Sometimes I go shorter. But I've always tried to keep my hair interesting. Always wanted something never wanted to go just too dull with it. Always liked making dramatic shifts as well, not just subtle ones when I decide to make shifts. So there you go. Number 4 interesting fact is that I was a youth pastor for 8 years. Now I've talked about this a little bit on my channel, but then again, I've got a lot more subscribers, and so I don't know who's heard which specific pieces at which specific times. So I went to college actually for Bible and Bible teaching. Those are my 2 degrees that I actually have them in, Bible and Bible teaching. And I was an education major, so I taught in schools, did student teaching and everything, and had classroom discipline, all of that fun stuff at a high school in Columbia, South Carolina. And then I went off and was a youth pastor for 8 years, from 2008 until 2016, literally right before I started this channel. When I stopped doing that and didn't have a job for a few months, that's when I started my channel. It's directly related to me not doing youth ministry anymore, is when I started this channel. But yeah, I mean, I did event planning, did an event where we dropped eggs out of a helicopter, and we had 1,700 people in attendance, all sorts of stuff in the local community to try and reach the teenagers, do all kinds of fun stuff to connect with families. And so I've done counseling, I've done all sorts of public speaking, every crazy thing you imagine. Church world preps you for all kinds of different things. And I did social media for the church. That's somewhat how I knew to do a bunch of this stuff. I did skit videos a lot for that. So sometimes with special effects, all sorts of other things. And so that's somewhat where I did a lot of my video editing and graphic design before I started this channel, was in church world. So yeah, there was this whole other side to my life where I was a youth pastor before I was a paint delivery specialist and now YouTuber personality person. And number 5, interesting thingy madoodle. I've been talking about movies on the internet for 20 years. Now, 20 years ago, you couldn't post a video of yourself reviewing a movie on the internet because we all had dial-up, so it would take you 7 hours to upload a very low-quality video to the internet, and nothing would host your video like any sort of YouTube. YouTube didn't come around until like 2005, 2006. So I had written reviews, and going all the way back to I think it was 1998, 1999. I think 98. I think I started my first website using my AOL account, and it was like a Star Wars fan page that was just nonsense, garbled text on the screen, of different fonts. I mean, the grossest looking website you've ever seen. No real content. And then I created a better website. Not too much later. I didn't have any of the technology I have now. I didn't know how to do things the way I know how to do them now. So I did a Jackie Chan webpage because I was huge into Hong Kong cinema at the time. So Jackie Chan fan page, and there was like even pictures on it where you could like click on parts of his body to see how he'd been injured on his arm or his head, and it would tell you which movie and which stunt went bad. Did stuff like that, and he even had written reviews on this website where they're phenomenal. I mean, phenomenally stupid reviews that I wrote back in 98, 99, 2000, back around that point in time. And so there you go. This isn't even a new thing. And since those websites kind of went off the air and I stopped updating them, I've always been on comment sections on IMDb bulletin boards, posted all over the Collider.com comment section. So I've been doing this for a long time. I just decided to go serious about it 2 years ago. But there you go. 5 super duper interesting things about me. I don't know if they're interesting at all, but they give you a better idea of who I am and what my life has looked like apart from when I'm just talking about movies and things like that. And it gives me an opportunity just to, like I said, let my personality shine. Thank you guys so much for following my second channel. Or if maybe you discovered me on this second channel, my main channel, I talk about movies. Sean Chandler talks about movies, as you can see right there on the shirt. So anyway, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, click the subscribe button. It's an amazing thing to do. Thank you for watching.